Coming in number 10, messy mattress. For those of you who don't know, April 22nd is Amber Heard's birthday, and so in 2016 she was throwing a party for herself at the couple's downtown LA penthouse. Depp ended up arriving late to the party and then decided that he wanted to bail early, which he claims enraged Amber. Heard then claimed that Depp threw a Magnum wine bottle at her before leaving. As per the reports, we learned that the couple's housekeeper had called Depp the following morning and told him that someone had pooped on his side of the bed and then put the blanket covers back over it. So he believed that Amber had done this so that when he came home and hopped in the bed, he would unknowingly be lying down into a pile of poop. Depp believed that either Amber or one of her friends had put the feces in his bed, but Amber was still maintaining that it was one of their Yorkshire Terriers that was responsible instead. From Depp's perspective though, he assumed Amber or one of her friends had put the poop in the bed to get back at him for skipping out on her 30th birthday party. Shortly after finding this, Depp ended up dumping Amber. What's strange though is that in that case, the judge did not even address the fact that the housekeeper claimed that she knew the dogs inside and out, meaning that even she knew their poops were usually quite smaller, and what she found in Johnny's bed was certainly not from one of the dogs. What's brutal is that the feces were then tossed out, so really there was no way that you could even test the DNA to confirm who actually was responsible for this. But before we jump into our next point, make sure you tap that like button to show some love to the channel. Coming in at number 9, Depp's mother. Another big point of discussion in this case is Johnny Depp's childhood and his entry into becoming a movie star, specifically the terrible way that his own mother had treated him as a child. Depp recounted his mother saying once, "She would call me cockeye, one-eye, anything she could get to demean, to humiliate. The verbal, the psychological was almost worse than the beatings. The beatings were just physical pain, and physical pain you learn to deal with, you learn to accept it, you learn to deal with it. But the psychological and emotional, that's what kind of tore us up, I think." If you didn't know, Johnny Depp is nearly blind in one eye, and so his mother would often use that against him during arguments. Now, a lot of people though wanted to know why Depp would stay with Amber if she was in fact just hitting him on the regular, and in response to that he said, "I stayed, I suppose, because my father stayed. I suppose because I had been in that relationship with Vanessa Paradis that was lost. I didn't want to fail. I wanted to try to make it work. I thought maybe I could help her. I thought maybe I could bring her around. The Amber Heard that I knew for the first year and a half was not this, opponent. It wasn't my girl, she'd become my opponent. Everything I did, she didn't accept it. I stayed because of course I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to hurt anyone, especially Miss Heard. I didn't want to break her heart." Coming in at number 8, enabling bad behavior. Another piece of this story that often gets overlooked is the history of addiction that certainly played a role in this messy divorce. Depp has acknowledged many times that he has tried to kick habits of heavy drug use during the period of his marriage, but added that he sometimes had lapsed. Amber though was not some drug-free saint that could just help him through this. In fact, one could argue that her addiction habits only helped fuel their toxic relationship further. During one courtroom hearing, Depp claimed that Heard had actually chopped out lines of for him before rubbing some of the onto her own gums. Depp's lawyer also noted that Heard experienced anxiety, insecurity, and jealousy that would manifest itself in several outbursts of anger and rage. When Sasha Wass said that Amber would often have 2 or 3 glasses of wine during an evening, Depp fired back with 2 or 3 bottles. In at number 7, text to Paul. In the text message exchange between Depp and fellow actor Paul Bettany, they said, "Depp, let's burn Amber. Bettany, I don't think we should burn her. She's delightful company and easy on the eye. Also, I'm not sure she's a witch. We could do a drowning test first. Thoughts? P.S. I have a pool. Depp, let's drown her before we burn her. I will F her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she's dead. Bettany, my thoughts entirely. Let's be certain before we pronounce her a witch." And during the cross-examination last week, Amber's lawyer J. Benjamin Rottenborn confronted Depp about the burn portion of this exchange and asked why he would speak in such a horrendous way about his then-girlfriend, adding, "You wrote that about the woman who would later become your wife." But Depp testified in his response that he and Bettany had a dry sense of humor and often bonded over difficult or unpleasant situations by using their humor. In his redirect, Depp said, "In context, it's important to know that none of it was ever intended to be real, and the language that's used, which I am ashamed that has to be spread on the world like peanut butter. For example, the text that is about burning Miss Heard, it's directly from Monty Python in the sketch about burning witches and then drowning the witches. This is a film that we'd all watch when we were 10. It's just irreverent and abstract humor. That's what we were referring to in those texts." Coming in number 6, abandonment issues. Depp also alleged that on a number of occasions he would manage to escape the home, but that Amber would inevitably arrive in front of his house screaming to the high heavens in the car park, sometimes in the early hours of the morning. He goes on to say, "Many times when I would try to leave, she would stop me at the elevator with the security guards crying and screaming, 'I can't live without you, I'm gonna die.' She had to get out." Depp also returned to the witness stand to describe how Amber's behavior had changed dramatically from the time that they had gotten married. The couple would also have frequent arguments that included demeaning name-calling and bullying by Miss Heard. And at number 5, Amber's admission of guilt. In April of last year, Johnny Depp had filed a defamation lawsuit against Amber for $50 million after she wrote an opinion piece for the Washington Post about the duress that she was suffering from just being with him. As a result, Depp was then fired from his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and his reputation was severely tarnished. However, Depp's lawyers received a bombshell of an audio confession where Amber actually admitted to hitting Johnny. In the audio, she said, "I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched." Later adding, "I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you, I did not punch you, I was hitting you." Coming in at number 4, the bruise. A police officer had testified against Amber Heard during the Johnny Depp defamation trial and insisted that she had no visible injuries when they arrived. Officer Melissa Sines was the one who responded to the alleged incident of domestic violence at Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's penthouse. When the LAPD arrived, they found the Aquaman actress in tears, and Officer Sines claimed that Heard's face appeared to be flush red but with emotion. Sines, who is a 12-year veteran of the LAPD, testified in a video deposition, "We met with the victim, we checked the location, the husband wasn't there, and that the victim advised us that she had just had an argument, and that she wasn't going to give us any further information. And because we didn't identify a crime, we issued her a business card, let her know that she could reach out to us later if she changed her mind and wanted to cooperate." Depp has repeatedly insisted throughout this trial, though, that he was actually the victim and stated that Heard had fabricated her allegations once it became clear that he wanted to divorce her. Coming in number 3, no one will believe you. When asked about why he would threaten to hurt himself, Depp said, "I thought Miss Heard had brought me to San Francisco. It was clear under false pretenses. I don't know what she was after. I had a knife in my pocket. I took the knife out and said, 'Here, cut me. That's what you want to do. You've taken everything. You want my blood? Take it.'" And in response, Amber kept just saying, "No, no, no," and continued to ask Depp to put the knife down. He said that because he was at his wit's end, he felt broken enough to actually harm himself, especially if she wasn't going to do it. Closing out his response to the tape, he said, "The only answer was here, cut me, that's all I have left to give you. There was no threat to Miss Heard, it was about spilling my blood, it was the only thing she didn't have. I was broken and really at the end." And the court also got to hear a very tearful phone conversation between Johnny and Amber, where she challenged him about his claims that she beat him up. In the clip, Amber says, "Tell the world I, Johnny Depp, a man, am a victim of domestic violence and see how many people believe or side with you." Coming in number 2, cheating allegations. When Johnny Depp took to the stand to testify against his ex-wife Amber Heard, more and more details were revealed about their toxic relationship, including how Depp believed that she was actually having an affair with James Franco. For those of you who don't know, James Franco and Amber Heard worked together in the 2015 film titled The Adderall Diaries, and Depp believed that the two of them had some sort of attraction to each other off-screen. While addressing the courtroom, Depp revealed that this was often something that he and Amber would fight over. In fact, they fought so much over that there was even an incident right before they flew from Boston to Los Angeles. Depp was also questioned a lot by Amber's lawyer about him feeling insecure whenever Amber would hang with Franco. That flight from Boston to LA, though, was one of the times where the pair fought over Heard hanging out with James, but the only real thing that they really wanted to focus on in court was just Johnny's intoxicated state of mind. He said to the courtroom, though, "I would not agree that I was very drunk on that flight. I had taken a double dose on that roxycodone, which is different than a blackout." Coming in at our number 1 spot, the lamp. Depp had previously stated that the only reason he lied about how his finger was injured was to protect his then wife Amber Heard. He said during his testimony, "I said that I had smashed it in these large accordion doors. I lied because I didn't want to disclose that it had been Miss Heard that had thrown a vodka bottle at me. I tried to just keep things as copacetic and as easy as possible for everyone. I did not want to put her name in that mix." He also went on to say that he used the severed finger to write confronting messages around the home after the alleged incident, which is a bit twisted if you ask me, but okay. In another tweet from Kathy Rusin, who is an executive producer at the Law and Crime Trial Network, she shared a photo of a bloodied lampshade and wrote, "This lampshade was on the floor at the Australia house. Hashtag Johnny Depp admits to writing this in a mixture of paint and blood with his injured finger. Good luck and be careful at top. Depp says he wrote it. I thought it was good advice." That's been today's list though, guys. If I missed anything, make sure you drop us a comment down below. And while you do that, I'm going to check out some of your comments from the video titled "Police Testify Against Amber Heard." CL Riley says, "I hope he gets justice. If he doesn't, then it will be a loss for equality and justice." Now, I certainly hope he gets justice as well. Here's Chica says, "Amber is digging her own grave with how this is turning out." Well, she certainly is. Roger Mendoza says, "Negative halo effect going on with Amber." Now that's for sure. Clever Fit says, "Good morning, everyone." Good morning to you as well. That's all the time that we have for today, though, folks, so stay classy, and I'll see you in the next one. Depp, let's burn Amber. One more time on that. Less robotic. Roger Mendoza says, "Negative halo effect going on with Amber." Imagine we started calling her Amber. That flight from Boston to LA, I'm melting down.